Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play this video and talk about things that are going on to better explain what's going on and talk about things that I think that are being done right and or done wrong. Here we go.
Hi, Vern Warnke, Sheriff Coroner for Merced County. This video is going to explain the deputy-involved shooting that occurred on Friday, January 13th in 2023 in Dos Palace, California. We take every use of force very seriously. Our deputies go through extensive training to be able to de-escalate situations. However, sometimes that is not always the outcome when lives are being threatened. It is important for us to be transparent with our community and share the details of this incident. I will turn this over to Under Sheriff Corey Gibson to give you a detailed account of the events that resulted in a deputy-involved shooting. The following video contains graphic images that may be disturbing to some viewers, so we're going to advise viewer discretion. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Under Sheriff Corey Gibson. I'll be sharing the events that took place during the deputy-involved shooting that occurred on Friday, January 13th, 2023. It is important to remember that this incident is still an ongoing investigation. There are two separate investigations, including a criminal investigation that will be reviewed by the District Attorney's Office, as well as an administrative investigation that will review the agency's response and the use of force used. At approximately 11:44 a.m., Sheriff's dispatchers received a 911 call from a female resident located at 8861 Globe Avenue in Dos Palace, California, saying that her boyfriend had assaulted her and was holding their son captive by not letting him leave the residence.
911, what's your emergency?
Hi, I need cops to my house. I live at 8861. The father of my children just beat me and he's holding my 5-year-old.
8861, what's the name of the street, ma'am?
Globe Avenue.
And you said the father of your children hit you?
Yes.
And he's holding what?
He has my 5-year-old inside the house and doesn't let him go.
The caller said the suspect, identified as Adolfo Cruz, was making statements about not wanting to go back to jail. At 11:44 a.m., the woman reported that Cruz had started a fire inside the residence and was attempting to burn down the duplex.
No, but he is threatening that if the cops come, he's not going to go to jail.
Okay. And it's just, how old is your son that he has in the house?
5. He's burning my house, dude.
He's burning your house?
You kidding me? Yes, he's burning my house. Get over here now.
Okay, ma'am, we have deputies en route to you. They're getting to you as quickly as possible.
At 11:53 a.m., while deputies were still en route, the caller stated that Cruz had a large kitchen knife in his hand and was holding the young child hostage and was using drugs.
Okay, what is he holding?
Kitchen knife.
And he told you that he was going to kill himself?
Yeah, and he has a crack pipe and he's hitting it in front of my son.
At 11:56 a.m., deputies arrived on scene and immediately tried to de-escalate the situation by speaking with Cruz. He continued to make statements about wanting to kill himself and the child.
Hey, Adolfo,
no, I'm tired of
you're gonna make it worse, bro.
No.
Just come talk to me.
I'm gonna go I know you guys think that.
You come out.
Okay. So he is supposedly set fire. You hear the fire alarm going off. He's taken a child hostage. He's armed with a knife. And this is information that is presumably being broadcast over the radio as these deputies are en route to this call. That should put it in their head that this is a very high risk scenario. And this undoubtedly requires the deployment of rifles. Unfortunately, this is one of my biggest gripes when it comes to these types of videos. Officers neglecting to get their rifles out. Instead, they mostly go with pistols, which we just now started to get the body cam footage. I have not seen all of this, so I don't know if they got rifles out or not. But one thing is she's reported that he has set a fire, and we can hear a fire alarm going on right now. If you know anything about fire science, the flow of fire, how it spreads, it can spread very quickly. Time is of essence. That's why volunteer fire departments are mostly known as foundation savers, because they cannot fucking get there in time to save the building. It burns up before they get there. Not all the time. Like there's volunteer fire departments out there that can get there and put out the fire before it burns down the building. But there is a reason why that nickname exists. Because sometimes they don't make it there on time. And the only thing left is the foundation. Now, whether they're, very far from a fire department or near, it doesn't matter. Fire can still spread fairly quickly. So to me, this is a very exigent circumstance. We have a 5-year-old being held against his will in a structure that has had fire set in it, and it has set off the fire alarm. Could that fire be out to a point where it's not spreading very far and it's just smoke in there smoldering? Could be. But could not be either. So at this point, I firmly believe that the use of deadly physical force would be 100%, 110% justified at this point. There's a fire alarm going off. There's a fire that's been reported inside the structure. These officers don't know what their time on is, but if they've been around for a few years and have seen a couple structure fires, they should know how quickly the fire can spread. And so that should be justification enough for them to go ahead and pop this dude as he's leaning out the window and then rush in and save the kid. Let's continue to see what goes on here.
No, you don't want to see this. No, I do. No.
Come talk to me.
Nah, that's it, bro. I'm wrong not being the life.
What are you gonna do then?
I'm gonna kill me and my kid, honestly.
Don't do that. You've been doing.
I'm not gonna go to prison, and I'd rather die. I'm telling you, I'm gonna die.
To you.
You're gonna come over here, dude. I'm being serious, bro. I'm not gonna go to prison. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna go to prison. No, I'm talking.
Piece of shit.
Deputies continued to talk to Cruz and requested a member of the crisis negotiation team. At 12:05 p.m., a crisis negotiator arrived on scene. He tried to talk to Cruz and de-escalate the situation further. Cruz repeatedly said that he was not going back to prison.
This is Adolfo.
Hey, ¿qué pasó, Adolfo? ¿Hablas español? Órale, primo. Hey, yo me llamo Roberto. ¿Ah?
Adolfo Cruz.
A Roberto, aquí para servirle, amigo. Yo estoy aquí con el departamento de alguacil. Te vengo a ayudar, amigo. ¿Qué está pasando?
Él sabe.
No, pues yo no sé, no. Yo acabo de llegar.
No me tengo que estar explicando yo cada rato.
At 12:26 p.m., Cruz then closed the upstairs window, and when he opened the window again, he had a large kitchen knife in his hand. After more attempts to de-escalate the situation and repeatedly telling Cruz to drop the knife, Detective Benavides fired a single shot from his department-issued rifle, striking Cruz.
Good. Finally, somebody had some fucking sense.
Merced 45, we just grabbed the knife and shut the window. Dude.
Come, bro. Hey, we're not. No. You guys want to disrespect me? I'll be serious. Come over here, bro. No, you guys, I'm being honest. I'm being a respect. You guys want to be looking down? I'm not stupid, dog. I know this. No, you guys do. I'd rather you shoot me right now, dude.
I don't want to do that, man.
I want you to do that, bro.
I don't, man.
I don't want to go to prison, dog. No, I'm not going to leave here dead. I'm going to leave you dead. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. dick, I'm not gonna go to prison. That's what you want your money?
Nobody.
Deputies then entered the residence and saw smoke in the air, as well as found evidence of a fire. Deputies rescued the child and did a medical assessment of Cruz. Unfortunately, he was pronounced dead on scene.
Unfortunately?
Deputies also
No.
located the
Fuck
13-inch
that.
kitchen knife
That's fortunately.
that Cruz was holding.
Poor kid.
Any incident that results in the loss of life is very tragic, not only for the family, but the community as well. The Merced County Sheriff's Office takes our oath to protect our community very seriously. We are grateful that the child was not physically harmed during this event. Thank you for watching.
I don't want to do that, man.
I want you to do that, bro.
I don't, man.
I don't want to go to prison, dog. No, I'm not gonna leave here dead. I'm gonna leave you dead. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I'm not gonna go to prison. That's what you want your money?
Nobody.
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 You know, I can't tell for sure at all, but the way he just immediately fucking just dropped and does not move any at all after that, I think that might have been a headshot. Now, interestingly enough, he's still holding that knife after being shot, which, you know, that could be a death spasm. Sometimes when people die, they grip onto things very tightly. It's called a death grip. It's just a spasm that occurs when people die. Not everybody does it. Just some people do it. Sometimes it's mostly seen with violent deaths. For example, like drowning victims. Sometimes in like rivers and stuff, drowning victims can be found with their hands clenched, and they'll be like grass and mud or like, you know, other debris in their hands that they're clenching. I remember one guy that we recovered from a boating accident. He was out hunting. He took his boat from a boat launch and took it over to another part of land and got a deer and put the deer back on the boat and was on his way back. Don't know what happened. Something happened. It was theorized that he just fell off the boat, and he fell out of the boat. And when you are driving a boat and you let go of the controls, a lot of times the boat will just start doing circles. It'll just naturally just start doing that. And so it was theorized the boat was just doing circles, and it hit him, and the propeller hit him in the head. When we found him, he had his toboggan in his hand. So we thought that he had fallen out of the boat. Toboggan came off his head. It was still floating in the water. He grabbed it and had it in his hands, and then boom, when that propeller hit him in the head, and he ended up drowning and dying, the death spasm kept that damn toboggan in his hand. So as I said, it's plausible that that rifle round hit him in the head, and he just hasn't dropped that knife because of the death spasm. When they make entry into the room, it appears as though he's still kind of halfway hanging out the window here. This deputy here has his rifle pointed at this guy as if he's in kind of an elevated position. The way his eyes are looking, it's like he's looking at this guy who's still somewhat elevated. And of course, we see the blackout blur box at a higher height. So the guy's still kind of stuck in the damn window from how he fell. What was that movie? The Departed, where Jack Nicholson's character, I forget what he said, but he's like, he fell funny after someone died. And there are times when people, the position they end up in, it is kind of like, whoa, how the hell did that happen? And, going into gallows humor, sometimes it is kind of, I guess someone would say, well, he did fall kind of funny. Like, he landed kind of funny. And if you don't understand what gallows humor is, it's something that all public safety people do. It's not a very publicly known thing, but it goes on. Everyone has gallows humor. It's a way of dealing with the stress and dealing with the unsightly things that you see sometimes. But anyway, I want to go back and look at the timestamps on the body cam, because they do jump forward multiple times on the body cam. So we started at 11:57, goes to 12:04. 12:21, 11:26. Sorry, 12:26, 12:27. So damn near an hour that they sit there and fucked with this guy. As I said at the very beginning, as those officers got there, and this is a hostage situation, fire alarms going off, smoke is present. Now, you may not see smoke billowing out the window, but they may have been able to see some smoke and smell it as well. Guaranteed they had to have smelled it while they were there. In this instance, right off the bat, knowing that fire can spread so quickly, and that they don't have the equipment to go into a smoke-filled room. They don't have SCBAs. They're not going to be able to go in there and do a search and rescue inside the house. The fire department has all that stuff, but it's not going to be safe for them to go inside at first when this guy's in there and he's got a knife and he could still potentially be alive and start stabbing them. So right off the bat, as soon as they get here, it's established it's a hostage situation. There's a fire, there's smoke, time is of essence. Right then and there at the onset, I do believe that they would have been justified in using deadly physical force to resolve this scenario and go in and save that child from potentially being burned in this building. Now, we now know later, after an hour of this interaction, that the fire was not spreading. I guess it's just smoldering. It didn't have the ability to spread very well. And it eventually got to the point where someone else came to the conclusion of this is not going to be resolved just by talking. This verbal de-escalation is not working. And that happens. Not everybody can be talked down. And I honestly believe that attempting to do the verbal de-escalation for too long can cause negative things to happen. It can cause things to actually escalate. Everybody seems to be so focused on verbal de-escalation as if talking is the only way to de-escalate a person. Physical force can be a way to de-escalate a person. It can prevent them from escalating things further if you just punch them in the fucking face. Or deploy taser on them, deploy OC, impact munitions, or deadly physical force. That will prevent things from escalating. And by that deputy using deadly physical force against this guy, they prevented this situation from escalating to a fully involved structure fire that could take the life of that innocent child. Now, it sucks for the kid. You know, they had to bring the kid out of that closet. And who knows if the kid was in the closet the whole time. The kid could have been inside that room when Daddy got popped, and then he ran into the closet to hide. So he could have seen all that. No, you heard it. People can make noises even after they've been killed. Air leaving out the lungs. That can be a kind of like a weird, like, oh shit, didn't expect that kind of moment. I remember the first time I moved a dead body. We were rolling him, and you could hear the air coming out of his mouth as we were rolling him, and it was kind of compressing his chest a little bit more, and air came out. And I remember thinking, oh fuck, he's alive. But no, he was deader than a fucking doornail though. But the noises, you know, even if they were not instantly dead, you know, he could be dying. The sounds of a person dying. Sometimes, depending on how they're positioned and if there's blood into the airway area, they make this gurgling sound. Or a moaning sound. So no telling what that poor little child experienced from sights and sounds. From just his dad dying alone. But leading up to that, I mean, his own dad just fucking taking him hostage. And threatening to kill him. Like him, 5 years old, he's hearing his dad talking about he's going to kill him. Like, shit, man. Like, that kid is going to potentially be mentally fucked for the long time. Maybe for the rest of his life. Sad. It's really sad because that almost seals the fate for that kid. Of all the criminals that I've been involved with, the majority of them do not have fathers in their life. And if they did have a father present in their life, that father was absent of any morals. They were just a trashy, ghetto kind of person. And that's what was imprinted on their offspring. So this kid going to be grown up without a dad. Who knows what kind of other man mama's going to, link up with. Hopefully she can get a good solid man and not another dude like this. hope the kid can get past this and not become a statistic in life. Oh, sad shit.
I don't want to do that, man.
I want you to do that, bro.
I don't, man.
I don't want to go to prison, dog. No.
Hollow Sun. Huh. You know, Hollow Sun, I guess, over the years has become a pretty decent site, but I would not initially think of it as a duty grade type of device.
I'm not going to leave here dead. I'm going to leave you dead. I'm telling you. I'm going to go to prison. I'm telling you.
But some people swear by them.
I'm not going to go to prison. That's what you money?
Nobody.
I'm not the biggest fan of these huge, like, high-rise mounts for these red dot sites. That's kind of a trend that's come about in the last few years, I guess. Some people swear by them. You see a lot of people doing it. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. We can't see much else on this rifle. Does look like he has either that could be part of the pick rail right there, or that could be a hot button. It might be a hot button, so he may have a light on the end right there, and that's what he can press down to activate that light. Or he could have a laser or something at the end. Yeah, we can see the light right there, but nothing else.
Deputies then entered the residence and saw smoke in the air.
Yeah, so light and a laser on top. Don't know if this was the same guy who was outside or not, but we see light and a laser. Can't tell what laser it is. Having all this stuff on there, having a laser on top, tells me that if they have this laser device on top, then they most likely have night vision capability. And if they're spending all this money on the lasers and the night vision, then they need to be having money to have silencers on their rifles. Shooting unsuppressed weapons at night with night vision can be done, but cause a lot of flaring and stuff going on with the tubes. When you put a suppressor on there, it makes it a lot nicer because you don't have your damn tubes flaring out and not able to see shit. Agencies can get silencers a whole lot easier than regular people can. So why they don't have them, I don't really know. But if you're going to be rocking a laser device on top that is presumably, IR capable, which I don't know why you'd be putting something on the gun that is not IR capable. But if you're going to have IR capable stuff and you got night vision, you need to have a suppressor. Okay, that's it. Not much else to talk about on this video. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit the subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.